Next Friday, we're giving the DNR a printout of all the names of the people who have signed our letters. We're over 10,000 now. We want to get several thousand more.
Let me introduce you to Maureen Hackett. You ever have a fight on your hands about anything? Trust me, you want Dr. Maureen Hackett in your corner. We're going to talk about the wolf. Ever since last session, when the Republican legislature here decided that they were going to bypass the 5-year waiting period on a wolf hunt after they were just taken off the endangered species list, you came out of the corner punching. It's wonderful. Why are you so passionate about the wolf?
I'd say the wolf hunt was a reckless rush to hunt the wolves. I would say that I'm passionate about most environmental issues, in particular ecology and wildlife. I don't think many people really stick up for wildlife. And so what I saw was both a process that was damaged in conjunction with special interests trying to have a wolf hunt for a very long time.
And of course, it's those special interests that actually won their way.
Yes.
The wolf had been on the Minnesota endangered species list for 10 years?
38 years. The endangered species list since 1974.
And the reason being that they have often been maligned, hunted, killed, shot, because there's always been a big claim on the part of the stock owners that they're killing my cows, they're killing my stock. And that's been an argument that you suggest is simply an argument without any basis.
We're trying to have empathy for the individual livestock producer who may have a loss.
Certainly.
But they have lots of losses from a lot of things. Now, they don't get reimbursed for those losses from poison plants or lightning or bad weather.
But the state reimburses them if a wolf kills one of their stock.
Yes, they don't get reimbursed for coyotes or wild dogs, but they do get reimbursed for wolves.
Are you suggesting that some people might be abusing that law, might be saying this animal was killed by a wolf, therefore you're going to give me money?
Well, I'm right now trying not to blame anyone in that way. What I'm trying to say is look, we had a federally protected species with federal dollars going towards livestock producers for almost 40 years, and a system that really, if you think about it, why are the livestock producers now sort of asking for this hunt if it was working so well that they were getting reimbursed? It obviously wasn't working for a variety of reasons, and we can come up with solutions to that. But right now, the solution isn't a public recreational hunt.
And that's what happened, Maureen. When we took the wolf off of the endangered species list here, as I said, the Republican legislature decided that it was going to take a vote and actually say that 5-year waiting period after a creature in Minnesota comes off the endangered species list, we're going to bypass that. But even the hunt itself, well, many Minnesotans might have thought, oh, it's because there's already an overpopulation and we have to deal with that, or we have to deal with the issue for the stock holders and the farmers. None of that turned out to be true either, because this was called, quote, a recreational hunt, which meant I'm going to go out and kill this wolf for fun.
Right. And it's trapping. Trapping, snaring, and baiting, which most Minnesotans, vast majority, are opposed to that. But the other issue is we never even conducted a comprehensive survey. Most people don't know that before this hunt went forward. The last comprehensive survey was 2007, 2008. And people keep treating the wolf like it's just another herd animal that you can take. A third of them is what they're saying, and they'll just reproduce and it'll be just fine.
But that's not the case. They are pack animals. They form families for a lifetime.
And they learn from their elders and they learn how to survive.
They are families.
We could actually make the livestock problems worse. So what we were saying is,
by splintering those families, causing them to create even more families.
More families, but also more inexperienced families who have more of a need for food because they're so young, and the first 2 years of life they require more food. So the bottom line is this wolf hunt was rushed. We had in law for 10 years, that's I think what you were referring to, for 10 years since 2001, that the wolf was different. That when the wolf came off the endangered species list, we would wait 5 years before we would even consider a proposal for a wolf hunt. Not that we would wait 5 years and have a hunt. And that original wolf management plan was, if there was a population management need, it would be one of many other considerations for managing that population. And it would be done with full public comment.
And all that was thrown away, and they said, let's go hunt them, and they did.
What was put into law, what was put into statute in 2001 was the 5-year wait before a proposal for a hunt and public comment. Well, the line out was, for the 5-year wait, was lined out of law in a budget bill. The Republican-led legislature put that in the budget bill. Most Democrats did not sign that budget bill. Then 2012, the wolf gets delisted in January 2012. Well, guess what? The DNR had already had a planned hunt. They even had a hearing on the hunt the day before the wolf lost its delisted status.
I want to talk about what that hunt means, however, because I think a lot of people think a hunt is a guy with a rifle. In terms of the wolf, many of the approaches to the hunt are nothing short of barbaric and hideous and inexcusably cruel. And I believe that if people saw a creature chewing its leg off in a leg hold trap, caught in a snare and strangling to death and hanging to death, if everybody who says we ought to do that had to watch that first, they would change their mind in a heartbeat, because we're talking about abject cruelty.
Yes, and to be honest
cruelty.
with you, we tried to get some of that cruelty exposed, but the media won't even accept any kind of billboard that's particularly cruel. I was limited in terms of which company would accept the trapping as torture billboards that I put out, because we have a limitation there. And
I don't understand. They would not let you show what happens, but we're perfectly content to let it happen?
Right, and these are just
What's
still
wrong
photos.
with this
well,
picture?
Even legislators tell me, I don't want to look at your film, and my film has no torture or anything in it. There's a film called Lords of Nature, which talks about the greatness of the top predator in an environment, and I've been giving this documentary, which focuses on Minnesota's wolves and how we've managed them with livestock producers. And they say, oh, I hope there are no bad pictures. And I'm thinking, you guys are the ones who have the power to stop those bad pictures, and you're afraid to even look at them, let alone vote on it. People don't realize that we have a massive trapping lobbying effort in our capital that has pretty much captured our DNR. I mean, you can't even talk about getting rid of trapping, let alone trapping the wolf. We did a poll. It was a Lake Research poll that showed that a vast majority of people value the wolf. Nearly 80% want to continue the wolf for future generations, and absolutely are against the trapping, snaring, and baiting, which
80%?
uses... Well, the ones against the trapping were more in the high 60s, 66%.
That's a lot.
But we know that the baiting with distress calls and food and snaring and trapping is something that rubs even northern Minnesotans the wrong way about the wolf.
You went past that too fast. The baiting with distress calls, people don't understand what you're saying.
Yes, distress calls such as the distress of one of their own.
A cub. A pup.
Or the distress of an injured animal, so that they might think it might be food. So they get tricked. Many hunters do not bait. I mean, it's illegal to bait deer. So why bait a wolf? I mean, basically when these people are shooting a wolf, they're shooting it from a deer stand while they're baiting it. And most people consider that an unethical hunting, no fair chase.
Yeah.
We're having an enormous amount of difficulty getting information from the DNR about how many wolves die in other ways. But we know we killed, if we accept their estimate of the wolves, 1 out of 4 wolves last year. We know
1 out of 4 in Minnesota?
Yes, because between the depredation or livestock producers trapping, the property owners trapping, all of which was at a much higher rate, though we haven't found out what the numbers of actual animals verified killed were, but the wolves died, 298 wolves died, were trapped and killed, and then 413 were killed in the recreational hunt. So we killed 711 wolves. If you think about that in proportion to the estimate that we might have 3,000 wolves, we killed about 1 out of 4.
25% of the whole population. This is all about, should we have recreational kills, and should we have this horrific forms of trapping?
Yes, that's what this is about. This is not about population management. If we had a population management problem, we could find other ways of managing it. There's no reason to make thrill killing legal. There's no reason.
There isn't at all.
In our society where we're talking about violence, and we're talking about persecution, we're talking about inclusiveness, we're talking about tolerance, why are we demonstrating intolerance in many ways for this animal, and also recklessness and even just disregard for the ecological aspect and the aesthetic value, cultural value of this animal?
Mahatma Gandhi said the mark of a civilized society is how it treats its animals.
I think that's true. We have a bill in the Senate Committee on the Environment Policy, chaired by Senator Marty, and that bill is asking to basically put back that 5-year wait, or to wait 5 years before a wolf hunting season could be proposed, and only for population management purposes after other alternatives are explored.
Essentially reinstating what had been on the books
Well, actually,
that the Republican legislature threw out.
Even making it a little more specific, because the population management part was not put into statute. And we're putting back into statute, because the reality is if you do have a population problem with wolves, putting in a recreational hunt on an animal that has been persecuted to near extinction is considered unethical by many other countries. For example, France, they had a problem with a wolf. They did not put out a recreational hunting license. They put out technicians. They, because they thought it was unethical to have people getting pleasure out of killing this wolf, this majestic animal.
I agree with them. Anything else we need to do?
If we get these bills through committee, we need everybody to be calling their senators and their state senators, state reps, and tell them, please vote on the floor for this bill.
We could show up in support.
It would be great for people to show up in
What's the
support.
website?
Howlingforwolves.org.
Howling, Howling, for wolves.org. Please support the efforts of Dr. Maureen Hackett and the people who are fighting so hard for creatures who can't speak. I honor you. I care that you're doing this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
Democratic Visions is handmade by volunteers through DFL Senate District 48, Eden Prairie and Minnetonka. Lori Pryor, Chair.